Well, I've already done my top 5 films of 2023, so now let's do the opposite.
Hold on to your butts.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this.
Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Motherfucker, say what again? A bitch.
What's going on, Toller team? And I hope you guys are staying warm during this winter season because, wow, it is cold out there. It's like 8 degrees here in Pittsburgh, and I can't even get off the side of my mountain right now. So, yeah, comment down below. Let me know how cold it is in your city, and let me know you're okay, because these are some crazy fucking times. As always, I do want to say thank you to you guys for supporting the channel. We're picking up subs left and right, and we're going to hit that 3,000 sub mark by the end of 2024. I know, but I couldn't do it without you guys, and I mean this sincerely. You know, starting this whole YouTube journey and sharing films, you know, something that I have a very deep passion and love for. This has just been so fun so far, and this isn't the end. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much for supporting me thus far and for continuing to support me. But now that we got all that out of the way, right? You're not here for the mushy stuff, for the emotional stuff. You're here to hear me rant about the worst 5 films of 2023. This is gonna be one of those. Let's get into it. Number 5 is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Social media sucks for a variety of reasons, and this is one of them, because thanks to social media, this film is getting a sequel. Yep, it managed to get enough people in the theater, it made enough money, and it's getting a sequel. You know, and I don't understand why. This is one of the most bland, uninteresting horror films I've seen in recent memory, despite it having such a unique premise. We're talking about Winnie the Pooh here. Think of all the crazy ideas and kills they could have done with this, and they did literally none of it. Hell, the best part of the film was the opening scene. It was just downright lazy. There was nothing about Winnie the Pooh here. There was no pot of honey kills. There was not one single oh bother. Nothing. This had nothing to do with Winnie the Pooh.
You serious?
I'm not even going to waste time on this. Just think of the most stereotypical, cliche-filled, cookie-cutter slasher film, and that's what Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is. You know, throw Christopher Robin in there, talk about the 100-Acre Woods for about 15 seconds, and then you put some shitty Winnie the Pooh mask on top of crap actors that have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and boom, there you go. You got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They just cashed in off all the social media hype, and this thing is getting a sequel, which, you know what, I'm hoping it's better. I'm hoping it's better, but I'm not holding my breath. And that's why Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey sits at number 5. Number 4 is Exorcist Believer. The review that put my channel on the map. I actually think it has, what, almost 2,500 views, but it was the first video to hit 1K on my channel, and what can I say about this pile of shit that everybody else hasn't already said? The setting is interesting enough. You know, we follow 2 young girls, Catherine and Angela, through their typical school life, and they just disappear after a visit to the local woods. And that's where shit kicks off, both literally and figuratively. You know, the beginning of the film isn't too bad, and Leslie Odom Jr. and Lydia Jewett both have great performances in Exorcist Believer, but the moment that Ellen Burstyn's character of Chris, who was from the original, the moment that she shows up, it just takes this awful, corporate, typical turn, and just becomes completely unworthy of the Exorcist name. Even Burstyn's performance as a legacy character was fucking awful. They essentially trotted her out there like a pony, slapped her on every piece of promo material they could, and she had maybe 5 minutes of screen time. I mean that literally. 5 minutes. 5 whole ass minutes of screen time. So we saw her on all the promo material, we saw her on all the marketing, the trailers, and all of us were excited because Ellen Burstyn hasn't been a part of the franchise since the first film, and there's a reason for that. And if you actually read about how and why she participated in Exorcist Believer, it was like the studio was begging her to make an appearance because they knew they could cash in off of her performance. They put her into this cookie cutter, stereotypical, corporate feeling possession film, which is literally the polar opposite of what the original was. And it was just ass. Absolute fucking ass. And that's why it's my number 4 on my worst films of 2023. Number 3 for my worst films of 2023 is The Last Voyage of the Demeter. The film pretty much nobody was talking about because it was nothing to talk about. You'd think a creature feature starring Javier Botet as Dracula and Corey Hawkins in the lead role of Clemens would be interesting enough to hold your attention for 2 hours, but nah. This film is boring as shit. So you have the Demeter, which is a ship, obviously, and it's setting sail for England. Obviously, people have to sail it, right? So there's the crew, you've got a handful of other people, and the premise is unique enough in that they're in the middle of the ocean, they're in this very tight, cramped space, and they're stuck in there with Dracula, right? And so instead of taking this very suspenseful, tense tone and just having things happen at a very slow pace to keep that tension, things become very formulaic. It's the same shit every day. Someone dies, they talk about it the next morning. And that same night, someone dies, and they talk about it again the next morning. Rinse and repeat. The only thing that didn't suck about this film was David Desmalchian, who had one hell of a 2023. I think he was in 5 or 6 different films, but no matter how good he performed in this movie, it was just boring. I'm almost certain my wife fell asleep during it. Anyway, that's why it's my number 3 worst film of 2023. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty because my number 2 worst film of 2023 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. What a pile of shit this movie was. For whatever reason, Disney decided they were going to wheel this 80-year-old geriatric Harrison Ford out there, for one last run as Indiana Jones, only to pervert the character, just like they do every other iconic character that they fucking own. In Dial of Destiny, we go on yet another adventure with fan favorite turned side character in his own damn franchise, Indiana Jones, as he attempts to find the fabled dial that can alter the course of history. $300 million? That's your production budget? Why? How did you manage to spend this much money, and for what? To try and elevate Phoebe Waller-Bridge's career so she can replace Indiana Jones? She's not gonna happen, Disney. Stop trying to make her happen.
I'm so sick of these people. Oh!
The fact of the matter is, Dial of Destiny is bloated, okay? It's contrived, and it lacks so much direction that an Indiana Jones film was a box office bomb. That's the old Disney way, right? And that's why it's my number 2 worst film of 2023. Number 1 should come as no surprise because it's the top viewed review on my channel, and that's The Marvels. The Marvels is easily the most controversial and divisive film of 2023. In one hand, if you liked the film, you're woke and leftist. And on the other hand, if you didn't like it, then you're misogynist and racist.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
That was the conversation around this film. That was literally it, all over social media. But with all of that aside, The Marvels is fucking awful. We pick up where we left Captain Marvel, with just post-Endgame, except this time she's joined by the likes of Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau. And they got this weird power changey thing, and they're trying to save the universe. I actually gave a lot of praise to Iman Vellani in my review, which is up here, because I thought she was charismatic and genuinely wanted to be there. Like, you can just tell that every time she is in a scene, it's brighter, it's funnier, like she was truly enjoying what she was doing. But for every Villani moment, there's a Brie Larson moment, who is still a massive charisma vacuum. Sure, she was substantially better in this film than in Captain Marvel, which I think we can all agree on now that the only reason that film reached $1 billion is because it was sandwiched between the most successful comic book movies of all time. But saying she's better here than she was there, that's not really saying a whole lot. She wasn't charming, she was very robotic, very unnatural, but despite Brie Larson doing what Brie Larson does, just stands there with this blank look on her face, she wasn't the worst thing about the Marvels. The writing was. One moment we're on a planet where genocide is taking place, and then the next there's a musical number? Who the fuck wrote this shit? It just doesn't make sense. The plot was all over the place, and the villain was just a carbon copy of other more popular villains that of course was gender swapped because The Marvels was just a catastrophe of a film. It's how much? I think it almost lost. Didn't it lose Disney? Like $200 million, over $200 million? And I don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, there's superhero fatigue.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Why? This film didn't have any problem making money. Neither did this one. As a matter of fact, this one made more money than the Marvels, and it's not even a real thing anymore. The DCEU is gone. James Gunn's redoing the whole thing. So somehow that one made more than the Marvels did. So miss me with that superhero fatigue bullshit. The Marvels is awful, and that's why it's my #1 worst film of 2023. Do you agree or disagree with my worst films of 2023? Let me know in the comments down below. Go on down there. Let me know. And remember, this is just my opinion, okay? Yeah, sure, my opinion can kind of be validated by box office numbers, but film is subjective, okay? This isn't set in stone or concrete, people. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my video. I'll talk to y'all later. Hey, whoa. Real quick. If you like what you heard, or maybe you didn't, or at the very least you think I have the best button downs on YouTube, do me a favor. Throw a like up there. Maybe comment down below about how much I suck. I don't fucking care. And, you know, if you feel extra special, sub if you want to listen to me talk some shit in the near future. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for stopping by, and I'll talk to you later.